got the long weekend, got the crew. Grills in the yard, kids in the spray, flags on the porch in the heat of the day. Old songs rise from the screen door hum, neighbors wave when the dust rolls among. Waiting need no weird, let's continue clean. Roll out the red, white, blue, got the long weekend, got the crew. Grills in the yard, kids in the spray, flags on the porch in the heat of the day. 250 shining bright, from the dawn to the firework night. Hands held high in the summer air, we remember what got us there. Oh, 250, sing it loud, sing it free. Oh, 250, born on the 4th with the whole country. 250, from the river to the sea of fields. 250, every hard-earned dream still thrills. Down in the hills where the pickaxes rang, men chased gold where the cold wind sang. Mud on the boots, dust in the skin, a little more hope in every tin. Boarding house meals and a lantern glow, whole town sprang up in the afterglow. Some struck it rich, some just pressed on, but the grit of the trail kept the nation strong. 250 shining bright, from the dawn to the firework night. Hands held high in the summer air, we remember what got us there. Oh, 250, sing it loud, sing it free. Oh, 250, born on the 4th with the whole country. 250, from the river to the sea of fields. 250, every hard-earned dream still thrills. From the strike of a shovel to the spark in the sky, from the first rough cabins to the stars up high, we built this day with calloused hands. Now the whole white family stands where it stands. Oh, 250, sing it loud, sing it free. Oh, 250, born on the 4th with the whole country. 250, from the rivers to the hills we ski. 250, still a bright and living dream. Raise it up, let it wave. 250, and the brave. Like a ribbon of light, every flake hit the pattern and held its place. Gold stayed caught in the vortex cells when the water's poured down to the last tail flow. Lift it, rinse it, and the mat comes back. Ready for the next load, ready for the stack. That's the real trick, that's the whole damn key. Speed is money and money is speed. Less grit, more go. Keep that clean out low. Don't let a minute stall. Take it back and haul. Dream that, clean it out fast. Dream that, run more, stack more. Dream that, gold stays in the trap. The finest loose mat, a recovery machine. When the day runs long and the creek turns mean, I want one tool built for the in-between. Tough in the flow, easy in the wash. That's the one I trust. Dream that, clean it out fast. Dream that, run more, stack more. Dream that, gold stays in the trap. The finest loose mat, nothing else comes close. Dream that, clean it out fast. Dream that, run more, stack more. Dream that, gold stays in the trap. The ultimate solution for gold recovery.
Oh, hey, YouTubers and friends, how are all of you doing tonight? Brad, I'm right here, Rocky Mountain. Hey, Dyslexia, Michael, you're Wilbur. I'm Mr. Ed. Scrappy, how you doing? Your neck hurts? I know it's hard to bang your head and mash elbows and heels when your elbows, knees, whatever. When you get old, isn't it, Scrappy? I know I'm getting there. Happy 250th early. We're Independence Day Eve here in the United States of America. I fortunately got the day off today, last minute. I think I brought it up last night. I'm kind of waiting on my guest, but it is a holiday weekend. He did just get back from Nome, Alaska. I had to switch things around because he was supposed to have been on last night, but things happen, you know. Howdy, Mr. Ed, like a horse. Wilbur. No, want to hear something funny about the job I'm on? If this damn camera would focus on me. But every day, for the most part, take care. Things to do. Happy 4th, Outfitter. Your stuff. There were a couple of envelopes that went out today. I believe one was you, Outfitter, or yours could have went out the other day. Scrapyard, yours went out today. Someone else's, I forget. Oh well. I have CRS, can't remember. Beep. Kentucky Gold Hunter, how are you? Moons over Miami. Joyce, I said that already, I think, but you're worth saying twice. Hobo Rob, have a good one up there with uh, Top Cat Josh and me, Maya. But hey, hopefully David will see his notification and be here because he wanted to talk about stuff he has going on in the Mac Cave with him and his brother Tim in beautiful Northwest Montana. Um, I showed you, I could probably show you again stuff he has listed new. It's a Miller table type thing with micro cells on the lower half, two ports where you could either use both for gold or one for lead and one for gold. Uh, I think they're just cells that will hold up to a quarter ounce, I believe. Uh, I belong to the Dream Mat. Uh, I belong to a couple of groups on Facebook, private groups. They're not groups like a page you could go to. They're chat groups. One is the Dream Mat Inner Circle, and the other is like a Dream Mat Testers group or something like that. I'm scrolling through. Hopefully, it won't jack up my computer and make it run poorly. But I think it's like the Testers group. And those of you who've been around for the years know Toledo Joust and I have been involved with David Peterson before he started making actual mats out of the resins he uses now. We have experimented with different types for him, different patterns, different things. And tested all kinds of his products. To me, in my opinion, right now, they're like the number one mat. The biggest reason I like them is how simple and fast the clean out is. I run a 4-inch dredge, 2-inch dredge, high bankers, river sluices and stuff, and I'm like scrap dog. Pretty much everything I own has Dream Mat in it. I do have some old miner's moss hanging around, some old carpet, and some other stuff. Do I see my friend in there from the Motherlode? Bedrock Bennett. Bedrock Bennett's in the house. This guy is a great nugget shooter, great metal detectorist, great prospector all around, and a great guy. Uh, Howdy, everyone. Happy 4th of July tomorrow, 250 years, and we're spanking the rest of this damn earth. Pretty crazy. Proud American. Got to be proud to be American. I'm proud to be American because I don't care what anyone says. We are the most helpful country in the world. We help way too many people, even our enemies. The most generous, and I could get into a lot of other things that I would like to see happen. But I'm a proud American and I'm American first. And if you're not a proud American and America first, if you're American, I don't know what to say about you, about it either. So, yeah. 13 days until Yuba. Oh, you shut up, Colin. No, no, I'm just kidding. Have a great time. If you see any of my friends like Tutas or Smith Gold or Minor Ma or Nikki, whatever, tell them hi. If you run into, I know Carson won't be there. He'll be on the opposite side of the Sierras, but say hi to Misha if you see him, and if Mike Vendetta makes it up from Arizona, say hi to him. JP, Rose Nose, Treasure, oh, the list. Damon, Otis, so many awesome people. Bennett, good seeing you. Say hi to the family for me, brother. Adventures with Gypsy and Vanilla Gorilla. Dream Mats for the win. In my book, yes. Tamara is awesome. I'd love to meet her someday. Gonna go to Nevada again? Dano's just healing up. I know his hands still hurting him pretty well. That's awesome. Now, anyone going out there or anyone going to the Nugget, if they want to send me a little pay dirt to play with, non-search, just dig up a crack or a crevice, throw it in a bag, I'll pan it live. Be a good time just to pan some mother lode gold. That'd be nice. Georgianne, it's been a while since I've been out there, huh, Bennett? What, 4 years now? 4 years too long? And this season's, I'm always watching. You're a good man, Bennett. I love my lurkers. I love my lurkers. Two Toes. Gary, if you're lurking, I'd love to have a Two Toes LBPA hat. But yeah, too long. I hear you. Way too long. Raven prospecting in the house. Kevin, how you doing? But I wish David would hop in here because I don't know how much I have to say, but I love Dream Prospectors Dream stuff. I have the cleanup buddy there. I got the switchback right there. I have some adventure sluices there. I have dredge mat in my 4-inch. I have dredge mat in my 2-inch. I have the original cell in my river sluice. I have combo mat in my Keen Mini Max. Mini and a couple of my other slews. Those hats are hard to come by. I think I lost mine somewhere. I'll probably be a shark. Well, I've meant to get a hold of Gary, Bennett, he ain't one for answering texts, and he likes leaving his cell phone in his truck, and I don't have his landline. Otis, wasn't that Gary who made those two toes LBPA hats? No, no. Unfortunately, I'm working way too many hours and got a lot to do. Unfortunately, I really don't know how much prospecting I'll be able to get done today or this summer before the snow falls. But I was talking to Dana the other night. I want to hit up the JJ land with them and get my 4-inch in there with King Prospector. He has a 3-inch with there. I have a 4-inch with there. And if Dana wants to run his 2-inch, we could always hook him up. I have several regulators. Oh, I don't know, Heavy. I need to talk to Otis. I haven't talked to Otis in a long time. Too long. Too long. This past year, ever since I became a superintendent, moved from foreman to superintendent, the pay is better and the workload's more. It is what it is. This camera is killing me. Killing me, I swear. I swear. All those going to the Yuba, to Tim's Nugget, have a great time. For those of you hanging out with Bennett, Top Cat, and Dano, you all have a great time. Huh. Wonder why they have the Two Toes logo on them, though. If Otis made them, you would have thought it would have had the Otis logo on it. I know if I would have made hats for the LBPA group, I'm sorry, but it would have flashing your pan on it somewhere. But hey, who's that, Brad? Otis? Otis is a great guy, plain and simple. Bennett is a great guy. His wife's a great person. So many great people. Yeah, Otis Ferris, great guy. Damon's a great guy. Hobo Rob, I'm looking forward to be able to meet Hobo Rob, Josh. So many people, so little time. One day, one day, hopefully, if all goes right. I was talking to Judy, though. I'll share this with you because it might come up if David gets on here. I'm looking at Messenger and he hasn't seen it yet. I told him I'd send the invite link at 7 o'clock his time, which is 8 o'clock mine. That could be Bennett because Tutas is the man. He is the man. Okay, that makes sense. But the one Rose has, I think the one JP has and the one Rose has, they all have Two Toes logo on it. But hey, it is what it is. Stacy, how you doing? Good seeing you. I committed to the meetup at the same date as Donkeys already. Sadly, I wish he could have moved it. Um, I'm not sure what meetup you're talking about. Is Donkey having an Aqua Donkey having another meetup, or are you talking about the one where I met you and Gypsy Vanilla Gorilla? Because the one we were all gonna go to got canceled, and that's why Aqua Donkey did the one he had. Barbecuing duck chicken and bacon with corn on the cob. Oh, Donkey's having another one in August. Well, hope you found a different location. Location was nice, pond, looked like a nice area for some camping and stuff. Cool area, but it wasn't right where the prospecting is. He, I could have hooked him up with the owner of Black Sands, where Rose Nose Monkey Fest was gonna be, and you never know what you're gonna get out of the Clear Fork River. And if you're a GPAA member, the Swank East is butts right up next to it. So it would increase your river access by about a mile. Oh yeah? Speaking of the devil, PA just came in. At same place, I guess PA and Wrench are putting something together for August 15th. They're just now talking about it. Dan the man, how you doing, PA? What Bedrock Bennett say? Got a Washingtonian in the house. How you doing, AJ? Hope Washington's well. We just our heat index up here today was over 105. We just had a wicked thunderstorm roll through. I haven't gone out to see if we have any damages. Let's see what Heavy says here. Yep, I wouldn't know any of you all if it wasn't for Gary. I started watching him a year later. YouTube started recommending other channels. And I found this live stream called Flashing Your Pan, or live streamer called Flashing Your Pan. Tuesday night ain't out live. Colin, love you, brother. Colin's a great guy. It's always good seeing Colin on the river. Today, 55 here, sure. Rub it in. Depends. Two toes, two toes, two toes. Smith's Gold. Autosparus. Name a bunch of my Washingtonian friends. Autosparus. I guess I could throw Oregonians in there too, Californians too. I have too many friends, not enough friends. Uh, too many friends. Well, I don't know how long I'm going to do this before I give up on David. I know David's busy all the time, and it is 4th of July Eve. We could always do it again, though, just drop of a hat. Been cloudy all week. Yeah, that's right. Your name came up. Georgianne said your name, Dan, and you, poof, you were there. It's like, what the heck? No, he's not a gnome anymore, Sean. He came back the other day. He came back on the 30th, the night of Tuesday night hangout line. No, he's not a gnome. I guarantee you that, AJ. He's back home. He's back home. He was home Tuesday. But when he got my message to come in, he's like, sorry, I got a dinner with family and stuff. So, but he's back in Montana from Nome. And I wanted to talk about Nome. But speaking of Alaska, here's something that's kind of in the works. David brought up in the inner circle and the Dream Mat testers group about a group of 18 or so to go to Skookum Gold Camp in Circle, Alaska. I was telling Judy not long ago about it, saying I would love to get that out of my bucket list, get it off my bucket list, and shoot, I'd have to talk to Blake there at Skookum Gold Camp. He was on my show before, and make arrangements. Heath, how you doing? I could call him, but I'm not. I sent him a message. AJ, I sent him a message. I could send him a text too. I'll send him a text. I will send him a text. Let me see. I got way too many people on my phone. The invite link is in your Facebook Messenger. Did you forget? Ha 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 ha. Evil grin. You know, something could have come up. Never know. But I'll give them a few. If not, oh well, I'm sorry. Because I know some of you were all ready for the show. Talk about what's coming up. But he has the whiz mat. It has a cool wizard graphic on it with some micro cells on the lower, like 16th. It's not even a third of the Mac. It looks really cool, and the demonstration looks really cool. But he has other stuff in the works that I've had the privilege to see. Um, but I haven't got the thumbs up to talk about it. So I can't talk about it. Chicken Alaska is cool. Talking Alaska or chicken? Oh, Chicken Gold Camp. Yeah, but that's way up in Chicken. That isn't by. Uh, how far is Chicken from Blake's camp in uh, Circle, Alaska? How far away is Chicken from Fairbanks? Because I know that's where I would fly into, go to Skookum Gold Camp. Oh, at Chicken? There's a place Brian Wilder goes to on the 40 mile. What's that? Gold Fever Adventures or no? Gold Fever Adventures is Jack Tucker. But I think he sold his campground and moved north by Kingman, Arizona. There's something gold Gold Rush Adventures or something on the 40 mile um, that I've heard some really good things about. I believe that's it. The Wandering Buffaloes have been there several times, and same with Brian Wilder. Yeah, Gold Fever event prospecting. And I hear the owners are really great people. I've had Augie on the show from AKAU out of Nome. I've heard a lot of good things about that place, and a detectorist who's the co-host for my friend Josh's show Beyond Sight and Sound found like a 3 ounce nugget on Anvil off of Anvil Creek in Nome at the AKAU camp last year. It wasn't this season, it was last season, I think. Yeah, you ride up the river in their hydrofoils or whatever to your dredges. And they leave you there all day and come pick you up. But the one thing I like, I'm not sure if your ATVs and other stuff are all inclusive. I know I believe they're more. They're an add-on at AKU. I believe they're an add-on at Gold Fever Prospecting. I know very little about Chicken Gold Camp, but at Skookum, at Blake's Camp, everything's inclusive. Your ATVs, everything. Fuel, everything. If you want to use a metal detector, you could get hooked up with the mine lab there. And I know that Debbie from Mine Lab USA really likes Skookum Gold Camp and AKAU. Who knows how many other places she's been to. Well, that's a problem. One problem right there, Justin. If I go to Alaska, I'm not going to pay for the freight to get a dredge and my high banker up there. And I don't know if I want to just go up there with just a Knox 800. I'd have to borrow one of Bedrock Bennett's mine labs, a real gold machine. Even though I found some nice gold with getting Two Toes and Smith's Gold and Top Cat with my Equinox. The Outdoors of Truth, River Relics. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. Chicken are good people. Jake, Ranch. What you didn't like the fine gold heavy fines and bigs were from Alaska. Oh, talking Wrench Pater. Uh, I know John and Bonnie are down on the Scioto River in southern Ohio right now with bear prospecting and a bunch of other people. Not sure who's there, but both Bear and Annie are great people. Great people. I have thought about organizing flash bashes again. They're a lot of work, a lot of work, but they're a really good time. Really good time. Oh, by the way, we lost another member to the gold or prospecting and treasure hunting community. Actually, a friend of mine from the Great White North. I did Tuesday night Hangout Live archive flashback with the show he was my guest on. He also sent me the silver ore that he recovered from some dumps up in Ontario, I believe it was. But my friend Greg, our friend in the community, me minor, it's kind of a bummer. I always enjoyed talking to him when I could, but he passed away not long ago. I don't know the exact day or nothing. So, Heavy, if you don't like it, you can always send it to me. I would like to check out Skookum since it can be driven to, aka you need. Yeah, there you either have to be pretty much the only way into there is flying in, right? Unless you hitch a ride in Anchorage on a barge or something. But yeah, where AKAU, you could land in Fairbanks, rent a car, or not AKAU, Skookum, and they could come out and pick you up. But I brought it to Judy. He's talking about the first week of camp opening, which is in June. So I forget. I think it's the last weekend in June that Skookum opens. I'll have to get Blake back on. Blake and his wife. back on the show and see. So, but Dan, give me some info. John, give me some info on the get together you and you guys in Aqua Donkey are thinking about putting together. Actually, there's another gold camp. It would be more central, so some other people could go to, and there's some room in there, especially for tent camping. I really don't know how it'd be for like your travel trailer, Dan, or or Aqua Donkey's travel trailer, or my travel trailer. I'm sure with the good four-wheel drive and it not being wet, you could get up off out of the hill on up the hill and on the road. But Jeremy Cantor from Ohio, he's been working with Matt Montoya, who's the owner of some property where Possum Run Creek runs right through it, and they started a gold camp. I Mandy, I thought went there. I don't know if Georgianne went there, but Ginger went up there. There were a few people there the weekend or the Sunday of Fossick, because I went by there, talked to Matt and Jeremy, and then I went to the Swank West and went to Fossick for the day. I don't know why they did it during Fossick, but hey, it is what it is. Maybe in May, same place. That ain't a bad place. It's kind of far from any river. I thought we drove a ways and the parking kind of really sucked. Parking kind of sucked at the river, Dan. It kind of sucked. The river looked good. I know they found some gold and some chunky. Vanilla Gorilla had a great time, and Aqua Donkey had a great time on Bear's Dredge. Personally, I think there's better accommodations that, but at Black Sands, it's a decent campground with things really close and accessible. More ground if you're a member of GPAA or you go on the lease with someone who's a member. But I think it cost me $400 to rent Black Sands Campground for the weekend of Flash Bash. I'm not sure if it cost anything at where Donkey Fest was. Yeah, and you got to think about people like Dan and I and others who have travel trailers too. So, but there's a lot to be considered. Access to the river, um, close access to the river, accommodations close by. There's a lot of things to No, it's all primitive. There's no hookups at Black Sands, but still. Well, for you it was, but did Donkey have to make a lease agreement or something for that land? Like with Flash Bash, even on the OSPA claims, I actually subleased it. I gave them a good chunk of the door. And that's one reason why I had to put a price on the outing because, it wasn't, I didn't have free access. That's part of putting on an event. Not much, just relaxing. 8 hours on the river today. Kicked my ass. That happens, buddy. You could be with us in New Hampshire, Ed, with your camper. Yeah, but I don't know if I want to drive my travel trailer all the way to New Hampshire. I just take my truck and sleep in my truck. Bob Drake, how you doing? Down east detecting. Yeah, it's Tuesday. Down east, it's Tuesday. Welcome to another Tuesday night Ain't Out Live. I don't know, is Oak Island on? Jim, how you doing, Rock Butcher? No, my guess must have got mixed up or something. I text him, no reply. I sent him a link. So, no, it's done for the season. Dave's not here, man. No, he's not here. He's not in my camper either. That's out there. So, sorry to waste your time. But for me, it wasn't a waste of time because I got to visit with a lot of the greatest people here on YouTube. But there is a link down in the description. Uh, you could use coupon code Flash5 or it's EM5, I think. But there's a link down in the description to Prospectors Dream or yeah, prospectorsdream.com where you can get $5 off every purchase. And right now, the 3rd through the 5th, there's up to 20% off on there's 20% off on some selected products and I believe 15% off store wide. I don't know if my coupon code would work with that, but you could give it a try. Howdy. Ranch a member for 19 months and love my members. Members and super chats really help pay for my streaming platform and just helps a lot. More than you can say, more than I can say. Never waste of time. I like your thinking. And we were on a live together a couple years back, and they sent me a free mini sluice that I have used the heck out of on Lake Superior Sands on local creeks. Cool. Actually, it was probably this one right here, right, Jim? But I have the micro banker uh, and a couple I could attach some more adventure sluices to it. And when I went up there and hang out with Mike Pung and my friend, oh, where is Ron? So I could go, run, run for the hills, mining. And Run for the Hills Mining does incorporate Dream Mat in their sluice boxes. It's a very high quality sluice box. Either the Creek Critter or what's the one Toledo Jess has? He has the bigger one. And also Luke Duke makes a very good sluice box that also has Dream Matting. I did something to my voice a couple of years back, Bob, and it hasn't been the same since. You know, being a smoker doesn't help either. So it is what it is. But I actually, if it was that loose, I think it was when you won that. Yours was green. Yeah, I got the purple one, but my green, I have a green one too. See, I actually have sleeves that go over this. They're out with my micro banker setup though, which has one of these in a little micro banker. Uh, and I could either use like this one here that's in my, I could use any of my small sluices now in it. Like this one up here I have in my switchback. I could use the micro dredge mat in it or anything, but I use this mat. This is the combination mini Cape D and micro. And in the micro banker, it's a nice setup. Backpack's really easy. I found a gram, 1.4 grams in about 4 hours on Lake Superior with that. Jim, I liked it. It's nice and handy. There you go. Nice, nice. I'm pretty much relaxing. One already. What? Beep. You got the other wooden nickel and I had in a case. So I hope it didn't break because I put it in one of these. He and you should be getting another one soon. A mic. He was mowing the yard. I just got a message from him about 2 minutes ago on my phone. He was out mowing the lawn. I mowed the lawn today too, but I did the push mowing yesterday at almost dusk. Well, it's a self-propelled walk behind, but I do my front, my side, and my far backyard on a riding lawnmower, and I did that today as well. Did you get your keychains loose yet, Keith? You should. You should. But he'll be on. He said give him 5 minutes. I was about ready to call it a night. Excellent, excellent. Right. Well, Tuesday night Hangout Live is more of the family show. And I guess before my guest here, I'm going to pollute my lungs a little because it's my show, it's my channel, and I can do what I want. Yours has the flare on it. Yeah, that's the original Adventures Blues, Jim. And it's nice. Just throw it in the backpack and go. I know it's can be a pretty decent little prospecting tool. I'll just act like I'm on wrenches or PAs hang out. I didn't check and see if who's has a live stream tonight, or I would have redirected it. Jeffrey Button, how you doing, Mega Dog? Oh, happy Independence Day weekend, you all. Nugget Brain, Wayne Peterson in the house. Good seeing you. Which David? You better get him soon, Ed. If not, he will cry every Tuesday. Get who? Get who? Calvin, the maker of Creek Drops. How you doing? You need to get one of those sheets that explains it so Stacy will use it on his claims. I don't understand why anyone put it in the waterway anyway. But hey, what's up? Is that right, Stacy? No one ever sent me any. Not really, dude. I do a thing called work, and I work a lot. Unfortunately, it's digging into a lot. This one job, I should rephrase that. It ain't my job that is digging into a lot of my time. It's this one specific job that's really getting into any of my beach time. If you want to, you could also use that QR code up there to head over to prospectorsdream.com. right, he sees the StreamYard invite link on Facebook Messenger now. That was a wooden nickel. I sent him another wooden nickel. I sent him a couple. One broke. So I sent him a replacement. There's David. There's David. About time, hour into the show, and my guest finally shows up. Should I make him wait, you all? Should I make him wait? I could make him wait. Nah, I'll let him in. And that way I could put him up and he could do his thing and I could chillax. Everybody welcome David Peterson, the creator and founder of Prospectors Dream, the home of Dream Mat. Hi, Dave.
How's it going, Ed? Can you hear me?
Oh, I hear you loud and clear, sir.
Cool. You can see me too. Cool.
Yeah, I can see you. How's what?
What was that?
How's what?
Wyatt's the teenager. He's out doing teenage things. You know, he's 17. He probably chasing girls and trying to show off right about now.
Well, next time you see your boy, tell him hi for me.
I will do that.
Excellent. Here, let me make you big. Somehow. I'll make you big. There you go. That way, you wanted to come on, and as always, you're more than welcome. And I can't wait to see more of the stuff that's going on inside your brother's and yours head that you bring to your marketplace.
You know, it's always a challenge, you know, kind of figure out when to stop, when to start. Him, a lot of times he tells me, he goes, Dave, you know, we got the dream mats. We could just camp right here. We don't really need to do anything else. We don't need to kill ourselves. And I said, yeah, I know. And I go, the hope is that if there's a need for a product and it's not creating a product just for the sake of creating a product, we don't want to do that. If there's a need for a product, fills a niche, makes people happy, makes it easier, and it fits what we do, you know, fits in with our dream mat, you know, kind of vision and who we are. And we will start working on it and decide if it's something that we could bring to the market and make people happy. Because I don't know, a lot of people, maybe they don't, I don't know. So what makes a guy tick? You know, what makes a guy tick? And it's not like if there are two people building a jet, and the first jet flew twice as fast, but cost $40 million. And the other jet flew just as fast, cost $15. I want to be the $15 guy. You know, meaning, you know, we grew up, you know, in, you know, I don't want to make it sound like I was impoverished. Our parents worked hard, but, you know, most of our homes had tires on them, you know, and we lived in a trailer house over in East Side of Montana, and he's a mechanic, and he worked hard, you know, feast and famine. They're like oil boom. I mean, like gold boom, but oil boom. When oil booms were up, you know, everybody made a lot of money. Everybody lived in houses. Everybody had all the kids had all the bikes, toys, motorcycles. Everything was good. And then when the boom was gone, it was hard, you know. And so we learned good work ethic, and that when a person works for something, it should have value. It shouldn't. Good things shouldn't just come along with piles of money. You know, good things should come along that people work hard to design that hold value, so that when the person gets it and uses it, they, because not everybody out there can afford everything. Um, they find value in it and go like, man, I'm glad I found this product. I'm glad I found it for this. And I'm glad it only cost me this much. And they find value in it because not everybody has an exhaustible income. And a lot of times, uh, I find a lot of passion just in that. And sometimes I look at some products and I retro engineer them and bring them to market. And I was actually, when I was in the semiconductor industry, that's kind of, if it's simple, elegant, you don't need to add all the complexity to it. And when we were engineering, one of the biggest things that we would get in trouble for is to be complex just for the sake of complexity. And so simplicity in a solution that made it easy, a lot of people, that was always the better thing. The horse is making noise over there. Anyways, so that's what I'm kind of about, and that's what drives me. Is it makes me feel good when I hit those marks where I not only get a good product out there, but the product meets the value that the customer expects it to meet, because they've worked hard, for the money they're putting out. And you work construction, so you should understand that, Ed.
Yeah.
When you're working hard and you're sweating and you're doing all that work, and then the customer, expects that great value out of, the money he's paying for all that construction work. Construction is a hard market. It's hard to please people in construction. And I don't want to make it sound like all people are hard to please, but I've worked construction and I don't want to go back to construction.
Well, the price of my work all depends on the customer's attitude. And it's twice as much if I have to go in and fix some other craftsman stuff. Because you know what they say, David. Cheap labor isn't skilled, and skilled labor isn't cheap.
Amen. And we've been blessed that we've been able to bootstrap this business, meaning we don't go out and get investors or other people's money and play with other people's money. And this business is basically supports itself. We don't have to take out loans to float the payroll roll. I've actually been a part of businesses where worked for businesses where you see it where they would loan money every month to make it go around because it just didn't sustain itself. And we've been blessed that we can sustain ourselves and just off of our products and what we sell and our employees and everything, that we got good employees that are obviously making us money. So we're excited about that. So it's always good to have an employee that makes you money, and that's business. But anyways, it's been a lot going on. Gonna be going on vacation here in a little bit and gonna spend a couple days off in the woods with my family. That'll be nice. Going to Nome was nice though too, going hanging out with Alex and meeting new friends and meeting Facebook friends that I've never met before, which was cool. So this trip I met like 5 people that I've known on Facebook that I've been talking to that I've never met. So that was really cool. So it's always that's kind of neat, make those connections with those people, spend some time with them, actually even go gold mining with them and prospecting.
Rock Butcher from Canada, actually, he won Venture Sleuth one time when you were on the show and you sent it to him. But he's a geologist, and this message, let David know that I've used the sleuth he gave me for free to generate a pile of young geologists and prospectors who are into sleuthing. We go after shift to the local creeks. And AJ from Washington,
That's cool. That's cool.
we've been talking to Stacy from Montana. He was wondering why his mat got real slick. Why did my Dream Mat get sticky and start falling apart? Customer service was not nice.
Okay,
Well,
well, we got our phone numbers are up on the website, and we even got our phone number on Google's. You can for our shop phone, reach out to us, get a hold of us. We got a helpline you can query in, and that gets sorted to me or Tim, depending on who it is, and we, um, uh, you know, take them as they come. And if you got a problem with your mat and it's not treating you right, you should be able to get a hold of us. I know. So there are days where we'll have to answer a lot of our customer service with the internet and by the keyboard because we're just having those hands-on days, really busy, getting caught on the phone for you know conversations just doesn't work with the schedule for that day because there's days where we just have to meet our goals and our tasks. But we're meeting, we're checking the messages, and we do talk to people every day. Tim was on customer service yesterday, and even though I was doing some other stuff, and he was on the phone for probably 3 hours yesterday. So, it's there.
he said he called and they weren't nice.
I doubt that. No, I doubt that. And actually, we sit there and we get calls from people, and they are upset. And I think sometimes when people are upset, that they voice it, and they go off and they use all their adjectives and and all this stuff. And we sit there and we listen to it, and we don't throw it back at them. We just talk about the facts, what's going on, where did it go, did you get your package in time, were all the parts there, we can send you more, we can help you out, we can give you a discount. I would very, if you call a customer service hotline, or a customer service support, and you're freaking hot and tempered and dropping all the stuff, you're gonna right away. Usually what it is, hey, my package didn't show up, and it's like, okay, let's find it. And then we see the carrier's late, and it's like, well, crap, I got a trip of a lifetime. And then we're like, okay, well, carriers sometimes screw up, and they're like, well, you guys screwed it up. It's like, no, the carrier did, and we got the same carriers everybody else does, and we depend on them just like everybody else does. And we get our packages out usually the next day, and then then you look at the time frame that they ordered in. Unless everything went right perfectly, the package was going to miss that trip of a lifetime. If I was going on a trip of a lifetime, I'd order my stuff a couple weeks in advance, and to order it and do 2 days or try to get it shipped 2 days in advance right before you're going is poor planning. And we don't tell the customers that, but we get a lot of that. But we just say, hey, we can ship it faster. It costs more money to ship it faster. If it hasn't shipped yet, if it's already shipped and the shippers have screwed up something, we're at the mercy of the shippers just like everybody else, and we try to make it right. Our customer service is pretty awesome. And I've listened to my brother take some pretty good tongue lashings from people that I kind of felt were just out of line. And there's no reason, to buy a product from a company and then call them up and, give them the what's to and who's for. And we're always, we have money back guarantee. Don't like it, put it in the box, we'll pay the shipping, you can return it. But a lot of stuff doesn't come back. Usually there's a mishap, like a part got missed. We have employees that ship. And another thing too is, it's sometimes as a business owner, it's really hard to make certain business decisions, like, we have some special needs employees, and because we believe in the community, and we help them out, and we got to watch them close, and they're great people. And every once in a while, they may forget something in the package, and it's unfortunate. But what do I do? Do I fire that person? And I hope people are understanding. We're people like everybody else. We just try to get the packages all out on time, and we have full-time employees. They're there every week. They're building these assemblies. We're shipping out a lot of product a day, and we do our best. And are we perfect? Nope, we're not. And nothing is. Not even a brand new vehicle is perfect. We all know the stories. A person buys a brand new vehicle, something's wrong with it. That's a lot of money. This is prospecting equipment. We're washing mud and rocks. Hopefully you order it in a generous amount of time to get to you in time, so there's no issues with ordering time, even if it is delayed a little bit. That would be the wisest decision. And if there's something wrong, or it got damaged, or there's a part missing, man, we shipped even overseas. Man, we've shipped stuff overseas, and they said, "Hey, it's missing a part." Okay, we ship it priority mail overseas, shipping their part. We don't expect people to pay for our mistakes, but we do our best to say if we have a mistake, we own it, and we try our best to make it right. If there's people out there that are looking for the perfect prospecting company, it's called Prospectors Dreams. I guess it's not perfect Prospectors Dreams, so I guess they're gonna have to find another prospecting company. Because I'm just saying we're not perfect. But we try hard, and we're honest people, and we work hard, and we're there. We're there every day, all day from 8 to 5. And earlier, Tim goes in early because he lives there, of course. But when I work late, I do the late shift. I do the late shift, and I cover the other 2 hours afterwards. And and I got people getting a hold of me all the time. I have my in-laws and my relatives all keep telling me that after 5 o'clock I should turn my phone off and detach. But I do customer service for a couple more hours, and I do customer service for the international, where I answer and take calls and chats from people that are in a different hole on your side of the world time zone. And so if we were to look at how much customer service time I get, I put in sometimes 4 hours before I even get to work, on my off time. So I think our customer service is pretty good. There's a lot of people that do that, and we care about our customers. We appreciate them too, and we think they're awesome. Because we get tons of great letters from our customers. They love our product. So if there is something unfortunate happening to a mat, I'm pretty sure you can call us. We'll figure out what's wrong with it. We guarantee our product. I'm pretty sure we'll guarantee it. It will make it work. So, and the only thing that could ever make a mat really sticky and falling apart is if it's a bad mat, which it's happened, because every once in a while we have some
your resin
issues. We have had some resin issues, and had a recall a couple lots back in the past, but we guarantee it and we take care of it. And then, or if someone uses a whole bunch of really harsh cleaners, trying to get that light out there it is, a whole bunch of really harsh cleaners, and chemically burns the mat and scrubs it, trying to get some mold release off of it. The mold release is water soluble. You can do some dog dish soap, a little scuff pad, it's ready to go. I know there's a lot of people where they're like, there's a lot of mythology and a lot of superstition where, I can't even put my hand in the pan. And if I do, I use the backside of my hand because it's got a lot of oil. And so they kind of feel that they're going to lose gold. Our mats are not going to lose the gold. You're going to the more you use them, more dirt you run over them, the better they get.
I've used your mat right out of the box. Didn't even I didn't even prep it. I just threw it in and used it, and let the stones season it.
I don't doubt that this person is having problems with their maps. So, and I'm not going to act like I'm perfect and it can't happen. We'll help them out. We'll get them. They need to email us, and we'll get to them and say, hey, I've got problems with the map. It's messing up. Show us a picture, and on the email. Click it with your phone, send it off, and we'll get to you, and we'll find your order, and we'll set you up, and bing, bada bing, and
just be polite. Be polite. It's always better to be polite than
we got about if we're going to talk about this just for a few seconds, let's just really do talk about it and not be dance around the elephant in the room. So if you were to come to me and say, okay, Dave, out of your percentage of total 100% of your phone calls, how many of them are the person's really happy, or there's a person who's just normal, and then the person's rude, and then the person's just totally obstinate, or just vulgar. And I would say basically about 1% of the calls a month you get the vulgar person. But I would say about 10% of the calls, the person calls and they are hot and they are angry, and they don't want to just talk about what the product is or what's going on. They want to give you a piece of their mind, and so you got to sit there and you listen to it, and then after they're done, I don't challenge them. Their feelings are their own, so I can't change their feelings. I'm not a psychiatrist, I make maths, and I'm an engineer. Engineers don't have feelings, and so after all the steam has been blown, it's just okay. So you're missing a mat, or you need a new mat, or it didn't come in time, and just go right to what the issue is. And then if they want to explain their feelings some more about the facts, let them do it. And then, okay, we're back to just missing the mat. My brother the other day, I was laughing because he was all, okay, he was talking to somebody on the phone. He goes, okay, so you're mad because you can't get the website to work. And he goes, but we can, and the guy had called several times. And Tim goes, we just need to get past this. It works for everybody else. You must have some issues. Well, I'm not a supercomputer guy. You're not a supercomputer guy. How about we just do the order over the phone? I could take care of anything you want right over the phone. Take your card. We can get it coming. And you should have heard that guy. It's like he was set free from jail. He's all, oh, yes, that would be great. Because, it's like his third call. The website ain't working. This ain't working. I don't understand. He's all mad. But he realized that, oh, yeah, we can just make an order over the phone. And, and I thought to myself after listening to Tim do that call, I was like, that was pretty nice of him, to basically endure all that and not get caught up in it and go tit for tat with the customer. So anyways, I thought our customer service is pretty good. We work pretty hard. I'll be sitting there. We work in the same office upstairs, me, Tim, and Nate, and we'll be all working, and a customer service call comes in and someone's on the phone. There's two, somebody leaves, but anyways, we listen. And afterwards, we, if we feel like, hey, you could have handled that a little better, we talk about it because we want our customers to be happy to call us. There shouldn't be no reason they shouldn't, and we want to take care of them. Yeah, it's rough when somebody's got basically, a lot of seasoned speech, I guess you would call it, but, yeah, anyway, so, but our customers, we hope enjoy our products. We hope they see that, the order goes in the previous day, the next day we ship it. And we try really hard to staff. We got a full-time store shipper. We got a full-time distributor shipper, just to ship distributor orders. Full-time guy, just distribute orders. We got a full-time Amazon and Bass Pro person. That person does both. And then we got a floater that goes around and helps everybody, just to get all our packages out every day, and get them packaged and get them out. and because we know if we don't, that'll be that one person who's got a trip of a lifetime. So we ship them out and try to get them out. And we're pretty close to every day getting all of our orders and starting on even coming into the beginning who the people that are ordering in the morning. Now, when we come back for the 4th of July, it's going to take us a couple days to dig ourselves out of a hole. And we hope people understand, but they will. It's like Christmas and Black Friday. Black Friday last year, I think it was a week before we actually got the Black Friday orders off the board into the other ones. And during that time, me and Kim were down there making it priority one. We weren't doing anything else. We were helping everybody ship. Because the reality is all hands on deck. We got to get all these packages out because people are waiting for them, and so we try, and you can only hire so many people so fast, and
you can't grow too fast or you'll kill yourself.
Well,
I know you're trying hard, and see, I've witnessed you come a long ways, David.
I never would have thought I would have had to become in inventing the dream at a businessman, and because I didn't go to school for it, neither did Tim. And we're trying our best, and even we're trying to professionally grow ourselves. We have people that we've hired, consultants, to come in there helping us with our business and help us personally and define our business, shape our business, operate it like a business. Because we're not writing a book. After this is all said and done, we're not writing a book and publishing it about what we did.
Right.
As the business part goes, we want to take the best known methods that are out there. I've been in engineering in a big company. Tim's, done warehouse management and a lot of shipping in warehouses. So he's got that kind of down. So we do pretty good. And one of my main focuses always is just developing the products. I spend my time talking to prospectors. And if you were to ask my wife, and ask my relatives, I spend way too much time talking to prospectors. And hanging out with them. And more and more as we got more employees, I've been going out a lot more prospecting and going to a lot more mines and being able to meet miners, prospectors, see how they do things, and try to basically look at how we can help them, if we can. And then if we can help them, say, well, I can help you here. If I can't help them someplace else, I'm not going to make suggestions, but if they wanted me to, I would. But we went to a mine. And I need to tell where it's at because it's one of those things where you got to respect people's privacies.
Right.
But I went to a mine, and they were doing cleanups. And when they brought me in there, they brought me there to say, we want you to help us with our cleanups. So I had the invite. So there it was. So I watched them do their cleanups for a day, and I understood how come they did it that way. They started out as prospectors and it turned into miners, And the next day I said, okay, I'm not here to upset the apple cart. I'm not trying to say your way's the wrong way, but let you just watch me and help me. And with the tools that we have here, this is how I would do the cleanups. And I go, because what I'm trying to get back into your life is your time as a miner to take care of yourself, clean the place, do your cooking, do your laundry, and not live and die in this cleanup shack, because that's what's happening right now. And also make it easier for the final clean that someone else was doing. And I go taking it to them. So, and save them time. And then we went through their flow chart process, their flow process of how they're doing things. And the next day after we did that all that way, and it went to the final clean process, we're sitting around the fire pit for lunch, And the guy doing the final clean process goes, "Oh, that was so awesome." He goes, that cleanup only took me like 30 minutes compared to like 2 hours or more in the evening he'd have to spend before he goes to bed. He goes, "We need to do it that way. That's the whatever we're doing, that's the way we need to do it." And so understanding, how to save customer time and get that money back to them in because time is money and you can't get it back. And a lot of these things that I've picked up, they're not mine. They're not all mine. I go to other miners. I see how they're doing it. I watch their cleanups. Go to other operations. I watch their wash plants and I listen to what they say, what they're doing. I see things I like. I see things I don't like. And I sit there and I put all these pieces together and I'm sitting here looking at this going, this is what I would do. And it's been a good plan. But through that, even I'm developing a product that's going to help them. Even, and I'm behind on that product because of some other things. This is a new product that hasn't came out yet. But we're looking at developing products that are going to help these small scale miners and the prospector. And who's moving a lot of material, who does a lot of prospecting. There's a lot of like holes in the prospecting market where it seems like it's a pay-in. I'm just teasing. Or it's $100,000 piece of equipment. And it's like there's so many gaps. And there's a lot of gadgets out there that don't fill the gap. And some of those gadgets are cheap, and some of them are very expensive and still don't work. And the reality is the product has to just work every day. It just got to work flawlessly. It's just got to work every day. It's got to work. And it's got to produce the results that it needs to produce. And it's when I was designing, when I was a young engineer, the owner of the company came down the room with the Gestapo, or whatever, I'm teasing, the people that were in charge of buying the materials, plating the machine shop, fabricating and getting it all done for the company. And he had a certain assembly and that went into this chemical fluid system. And he slams it because I was in the middle of the room. And I just happened to be there. And he gets in the middle of the room, he slams it down on the table next to my desk and goes, this assembly costs like $15,000 to make. It's all said and done. And he goes, it's just terribly expensive. And he goes, it's complicated for complicated sake. He goes, this part should cost $150. And so, but he was right in a way because that actually did happen. I actually designed that $150 fix. And because it was taking a good hard look at what was necessary and what was needed and to make it elegant, make it simple and make it straightforward, and a lot of times being able to engineer like that with a bunch of better engineers than myself, even people with greater careers, they got more stuff to hang on the wall than I do. In learning how to solve problems is kind of a culture I grew up with, and I've carried that into my prospecting. That's why I did the Dream Mat. Of course, I felt, the thing that I guess you would say my aha moment with the Dream Mat. But since then, it's like applications and how you do things, and getting products that are simple, elegant, work well, affordable. They ain't complicated for complicated sake. We used to use a term called Rube Goldberg. Rube Goldberg was an inventor back in, I think it was the 40s or 50s. Yeah, I think it's the 50s. And he'd make like that mousetrap game. He purposely made contraptions that, you turn on a light switch, and instead of the light bulb turning on, this ball rolled down a chute, did this, goes back, and it comes back, and after 40 different things, it trips and turns on the light. And he purposely did that. And Rube Goldberg, and you can look him up on the internet, and you'll see all these goofy things he used to make. And when we were engineering, you get something that's really complicated. People say, "Man, that's just a Rube Goldberg device," meaning it just seems complicated for complicated sake. And doesn't need to have all that complexity. Some things are very hard problems to solve. Some tools, and some applications are very difficult, and they're not easy jobs. But what I'm going to say now is going to kind of, and we got issues too. But the reality is, I look at a lot of times, I go, we're washing mud and rocks, we're washing dirt, we're cleaning and liberating heavy gold from all our problems types of material, from sands to muds to clays to silts, shale. We got all these different things we're trying to get it out of. And you just need the right amount of water. You need the right amount of flow, velocity, and the right type of screening a lot of times, especially if you got shales, you got to screen good. And, well, of course, you got to break down the muds and the clays, and you're able to liberate your gold. And, looking always at if it's a simple, nature's always showing us how to do it, a simple way and get it done. And and a lot of the Dream Mat, is inspired by physics of nature, stuff that we see every day, And actually, I got like a whole bunch of pictures saved. One of these days, I should make like a collage of all the natural things that make the Dream Mat shape in the water.
Right.
And, in the swirl and everything, the hydrocyclone. And it's amazing how many out there. One of my favorites is the canoe paddle, where the guy puts the canoe paddle in the water and he pulls it forward and makes the two swirls, both in opposite directions, doing what it's doing. Because I've had a lot of people, they'll call me and they'll tell me all the swirls need to be going the right way. And they need to be going according to the hemisphere of the earth. They get all really way out there. And I'm like,
all right. Well,
okay. I'm like, that's nice, but not really.
we've known you throughout the years, all kinds of backlash, or not backlash, just hard time from other creators in the business. But everyone has their things, where they get overboard. But let me catch up on a few things, David.
Go ahead, catch up. Sorry if I took
Wayne Peterson, Wayne Nugget Brain Peterson says, Dave, it's Nugget Brain. Give me a call. I left you a message a week ago. He's out of Durango, Colorado. He's the president of Worldwide Treasure Hunters.
Okay, yep. So people that are waiting for me to call.
You just got back from
you gotta keep pinging me. Gotta keep pinging me, because what happens? I'm just explaining what happens. So someone will message me, and then a couple days later they go, "Did you see my message?" And I go, and I look, and so here I am, scrolling like 4 pages back. Oh, there you are. The amount of messages I get,
they get
phone calls I get, every day people are falling off the screen, and the squeaky wheel gets grease. So if you're waiting for me and I'm not getting back, ping me and say, "Hey, Dave, I'm waiting for a call back." And I'll go, "Oh crap, I haven't got a hold of this guy," because it's hard. It's hard for me a lot of times to answer all the calls I'm getting, and a lot of people say I make myself too available to the market, and I should have this professional buffer, 8 to 5, all this other stuff. And I kind of just feel like, if a person's really trying to get a hold of me, let them get a hold of me,
Right.
But with Facebook Messenger and with that going on, I got lots of people trying to get a hold of me. So if you're trying to get a hold of me, just keep being persistent. I'm available.
Now, scrapyard prospecting. I'm waiting. This one be interesting too. When are we gonna get a Dream Mat shower mat?
Shower mat for like in the shower?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, but that would be kind of funny. But yeah, I'm working on it, and I keep telling myself, and it would be really easy. I want to make Dream Mat coasters for our for drinks, and start making those and passing those out, and like I did with the keychain thing, and then how that exploded. And it's so funny. It's just a I go to work, and the minute I step in the door, it's like me and my brother. It's like I feel like those movies where the dudes got the shields up and all the arrows are hitting them, and they're trying to get up to the office and get their work done, and everybody wants a piece of it. But that's a good feeling to have. The business is thriving. We're doing our best. Um, we've actually even thought of hiring just a full time. But me and Tim cover it. We're there. We got actually 3 lines open at the business for customer service. Tim's phone, my phone, and the shop phone. So we haven't quite felt that we need to have a full time customer service guy. That sun is just there. It is crazy. But and in the backyard, my yard needs mowed. I got half of it mowed. I was mowing when Ed said, "Hey, I'm starting at 7," and I got lost track of time. I was mowing my yard, weed eating.
Yeah,
But shower mats, yep, and I want to do more some different shirt designs. I got a couple other swag items I'm working on, and I almost pulled one of them off, but the people backed out on me. Where we got this idea for some swag items, and so we want to have fun too, and those will usually come during the winter months. But yep, dream mat, mat.
I know you wanted to bring up some stuff you just released and maybe some new products coming out.
We got 2 new products that are coming out. Well, actually 3. Everybody knows about the dry washer. I got to do proof of concept. And then after I got proof of concept done, the business had a list of deliverables and dates I had to meet. The new mats, the high baker hoppers, the the Dream Banker, and some other products in the Whizmat, and some things I had to produce, and I had to put that thing because I could have got just preoccupied with this dry washer. So we did proof of concept, got it patented, or patent pending. It'll be patented, and then we're gonna pick that thing up after we got 2 more products that are one is being developed right now and is basically almost done. We could rush it to market, but we felt we had to launch all these other products, and we're going to have all the work to deal with launching these new products for the next couple of weeks. And when that all settles down, we're putting the final touches on a product right now that's going to get released. And when people see this product, it's almost going to be scary. It's going to be so fun. And then we got 2 more products after that. So we got their product that I told you I was developing for the miner. And then, of course, then I'll be getting and turning my attention back towards, before summer's over, the dry washer, because I'll be going back down to Arizona in the winter to be running it to test the final designs that we're going to put into it rather than the prototype that we did to get it going for market for Christmas. That's the hope. So, and so people will be able to buy, put in their 6x42 a dry washer, and upscale it, and it'll be, I know it's a small dry washer, but you can, and it's going to be fun, and from there, we want to just be bulletproof there at that level and start there. We don't want to conquer the world yet. And it's kind of like when we released Dream Mat. We had 3 sizes, and that was good enough for 2 years. And then it really started changing after that. So we're going to release the dry washer, and we're going to listen to what people say about it. We're going to listen to our customers. They're going to tell us what they love. They're going to tell us what they hate. And we're going to go out and work it, and we're going to see it in applications, and we're going to have all our testers we'll have one, and they'll be running it, and they're going to tell us, and it's going to be from there, we'll evolve. And a lot of times, the reality is, I hate to say it, but Just think about it. I'm only me. I can only live so many lifetimes. And if I could multiply myself, that's a good thing. So basically, that's what I'm doing by putting it in the tester's hands, putting it in super users' hands, listening to these people, and giving them the merit that's due, and refining these products. And a lot of the Dream Mat stuff, like when the second gen micro, I had all these changes I'm getting ready to make, but then I'm watching like Martin on the beach in Lake Superior,
Right.
just kill it. I mean, the guy he is killing it, man. I mean, what he's doing with the regular micro on the mat, no one else was doing. So I called him and said, "Hey, I want to come out. I'm getting ready to make some changes. I just want to see what you see, and let's talk some shop." And I went out there, and he had a lot of things. Because man, I asked him, "What do you like? What don't you like?" And his list, what he didn't like, was actually, I felt, a little too long. But he had a list, and I listened to him. And so we brought all our changes that we could into the second gen, and then some of those things couldn't be accomplished with just the second gen, and that's why we seriously pulled the dredge mat into the micro mat and the banjo mat, or started pulling the micro design into that, because we felt some of the things he was asking for and other people are asking for were available and solved in the micro dredge, and they were. And the micro dredge, one of the things we're going to be doing, which I really haven't told a lot of people, we're going to be developing that into a finishing product for like people that have mines. And the micro dredge works so well that it's really just about real estate and how wide your sluice is and water flow. And so, for example, you bring a whole bunch of, you're concentrating. You're not finishing, you're concentrating. So they have these things called concentrating tables, like Mount Baker has concentrating tables. There's a lot of big other companies that have these tables. They bring all this material to it and they run all this yardage over it. And they concentrate down your gold. Then you usually have your number ones, your number twos, your midlands, and your tailends. Or even, more than that. Maybe some have 5 ports. And you got to deal with all those products. And they're great products. They work well. There's really nothing that's wrong with the physics and everything that's behind these products. But here's what the deal is. They cost a lot of money. And if we could do the same thing, which we are doing right now, but we're going to basically show how the difference is and get the system set up with the width we need, run the material, do the, some people call it a race, or just go neck and neck, process the same material on this table. This is how long it takes to get your finished product. Boom, there it is. There's the amount. There's the gold. Take the same material, run it on the micromat dredges over them. How long does it take? There's your product. There it is. One product will cost tens of thousands of dollars. The other one will cost under $1,000. And we're hoping that we're actually going to beat them in time. That's the reality of the gravity separation with the Dream Mat. A lot of people are like, they hear stuff like this and they roll their eyes in the back of their head and they act like, oh, geez, whatever. You're just getting kind of like, well, out there. These are little mini hydrocyclones. Hydrocyclones work good in the mining industry. And all we're doing is we got a bunch of perfectly tuned mini hydrocyclones all over the mat doing what they do every day, all day. They just tick-tock every day. They don't break. They don't wear out. There's no parts. There's nothing moving. It's just water swirling, separating every day. They do their job. And when you tune all those little cyclones to do their job, they do them well. And a lot of times on shaker tables, you got to classify really good, or else you can't have rocks bouncing all over it. And a lot of our stuff, our classification is tight. We can roll off even the bigger stuff. So, it's one of those things, gravity recovery. And what we're seeing is one of the things we're seeing in the mining industry. A lot of people don't hear about this, but so when you leach gold, dissolve it in, solution. And you got to have the gold's got to be a certain size. It can't be too big because it's all about time and chemical to break that gold down, turn it into solution. And if the gold's too big, you don't have enough chemical or enough time to dissolve it down. So if you don't crush properly and get it really small, your gold doesn't get dissolved and it goes out in your tailings. And in every industry, you got to realize this. They believe that sometimes because there's this machinery out there, everything runs perfect, and the operator running it does everything right, and he never has a bad day, and he's never trying to get off Friday to go see his girlfriend. Like everybody laughs. That car was built on a Friday. You could tell because everybody was trying to get out of the shop. They tease what day was the automobile built. We're people. We make mistakes. We're not perfect. And the machines only help us so much. And so we are working with people where they're catching the gold. That's the oversize that didn't get dissolved in the leaching in their tailing chutes with our mats and getting their gold back. So it's like, wow. So are we trying to go to the front end of the process and eliminate the leaching? No, we're not doing that. Are we going to the back end of the process and helping out? Yeah, we are. And the same thing is with crushing. Sometimes in flotation, we're putting the dream mats right behind the ball mills as they come out, and we grab all that free gold, all that big heavy metal in chunks, and all the garbage. So they're seeing that they're catching so much high percentage of the gold coming out of that crusher compared to what they were when they tried to pump everything into it for flotation or leaching. They're seeing the value of developing these circuits. And also, like, we're working on this job in South America, and hopefully we'll be going to Argentina this fall. I want to go fishing, but it's a business trip, but I'll pull off some fishing if I go, but we may not go. So we're thinking we will go. I hope we do. I really want to go. Anyway, sorry. Sorry about that. But anyways, down there, they're running these centrifuges. And so everything that goes across the sluice that's too big goes to a crusher and gets crushed to sand and goes into the centrifuges. And so everything that comes to the wash plant gets pumped to this pump, and it goes to 3 tubes, and they have 3 centrifuges behind it. And they're trying to process all this fine gold that the big systems are losing. And the centrifuges are difficult to clean. They cost a lot to run. Diesel in the generator. And they have these hiccups. They get packed up. They wobble. They have issues. They got to be fed just right. And also the water rate, how much water and how much material, it has to be perfect coming into them, or they have issues. And we took a circuit. They took a circuit down for us out of 9 mines. And one of the mines has 3 of these plants, and each has 3 plants, each have 3 centrifuges behind them. They took down just 3 of them and put our mats behind those chutes and took out the centrifuges to see if they could just recover all the gold with the mat. And the person has been trying to get a hold of me going, so did it go well? We haven't heard the results of the test yet. So the person is trying to get a hold of me saying, Dave, we need to set up a distributorship. Why would he want to set up a distributorship if it didn't go well? Well, the hope is, like he said, if I could get in that location, if I don't have to run those generators, buy the diesel, or have those centrifuges and the labor to clean them out, that's a $300K savings a year. If I could just do it with the mats. So it's all about economics and time. So, but can we? I don't know. That lady hasn't seen yet. Haven't got the reports back yet. But he is trying to get a hold of me. So that's hopeful. So we shall see what's going to happen there. And a lot of times, it's just exciting to see the tech be recognized in so many applications, and it was awesome to hang out with Juan last year and do the test with him. And we just got the stamp on the test that came back from that, the certified stamp the engineering stamp on the test. So it's basically, the report. We can release the report and share it online. I would have did that this week, but I just got back from Nome. We had the 4th of July sale. Just haven't had time. Fun stuff. Too much fun. And anyways, what else you got for me, Ed? Come on, man.
Well, you were talking about new product and want to come on do new products.
Oh, new product.
I'm interested in that Miller table, the Whiz Mat.
That thing, it looks too simple. It looks too easy. I think people look at it and go like, what's that? That looks dumb. And it's like, dude, we scienced the crap out of that thing. We spent 4 months trying to do Miller tables the old way, the old traditional way, like everybody else does them. But to get it in a 6x42 or 6-inch box, figure out how to make it just plates, just plop in there, and not make like and even thought like, well, do all our sluices need to have like a Miller surface on them? And they just get that with the sluice because it's too hard to put an insert in. And we're trying to figure out how to do all this, get a drop-in insert for our 6-inch series. Because we felt, in a lot of ways, really don't need that big wide table for small cleanups. And Miller tables seem to be pretty easy. It's just water flowing. And the way that the water crashes into those Miller tables, and the way it's done, you get that. It's like velocity picks up. It's like if you dump water out like with a hose on the ground, just dump it out on the ground, and it spills and it goes across your driveway, and it kind of just goes off, nice and smooth. And then you take a power washer and then you go really quick, and then squirt it, and it goes nice and flat, and it goes velocity. And a lot of things we notice is when the pump is pumping out of a small line, going into this canal and spilling up and spilling down and going over, especially in the center, the water humps up. We actually were looking at this to see how high the water level was on the ends compared to in the middle. And then what you see is the water in the middle always, even if they put the little foam thing in there and tried to stop and get the water to disperse, like the little foamy filter thing, but that gets clogged anyway because of pain in the butt when you run silt and it gets dirty. But the middle flow is always faster, and it humps up, and it drops over and spills out, and it's like that faster water. It scoots across the surface. You got that velocity, and the sides are slower. And we're looking at all this and going like, man, what we really need is the water to go into a area like a pool that's big enough, and it fills up, and all the pressure is gone to the point you don't even see the water bubbling or boiling. It's just smooth, and a nice radius hump, like so it doesn't come to a sharp edge and have to jump over, but like those dams, in a nice little hump, and it just scoots off smooth. And when we did that, man, we were amazed how you could turn the water up even higher to get the black sands off, and the gold was sticking around longer. And then we got a rubber surface, so a person could scuff it with a little like sanding pad, a Brillo pad or something every once in a while if he feels it's getting slick or slimy. Sandpaper would work too. Don't want to get too carried away. Or they can just rub it with some acetone, and so it's really grippy. We have when we like Dawn dishwashing commercial, or it was a dishwashing commercial back in the 80s, where the people grab the plate and they rub their finger on it, it squeaks. It goes squeak, 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 right? And meaning that it was like grippy. It was so clean, it wasn't like feeling scummy or anything. It was clean. And we noticed right away that after we cleaned our surfaces of our mat material and poured it on that smooth surface, you got that grip. When we got the mold really soft fit, it's really grippy, and we pre-clean them before we send them out. and we ran. I got a couple of Miller tables that from other companies that I own at the shop, and we run the material over it, and we push our finger up the we push our finger up the surface to see if it's slick and slimy or fast, or if it's grippy. And it's grippy on the Dream Mat. It's pretty cool. Or on the material, it's still grippy. So that gold is going to stick to that. When it hits it, it's going to have a high surface tension. So you're not going to see it just slip down the mat. So we thought that was pretty cool. And then we put the Dream Mat little cells on the bottom because we know round stuff rolls off, and everybody hates the Miller table. When we did the Miller table cleanup at Wands, one of the things everybody looked at was the tailings off the Miller table. And everybody was looking at them. And the reality is, we got to go through those. Because every round piece of gold fell off of that. We had to go through that whole tailing pile for each of the cleanups. We got those little Dream Mat cells down there. Now you just got to sucker them up with a sucker bottle. Go across it like a vacuum, back and forth when the water's running, sucks them right clean. Put that in a pan. There's your round gold. And it's just a little bit of stuff. But it's better than going into that whole pile of tailings that's in your tub and searching for them. And then we put the Gandalf guy or the wizard guy on the mat because that was fun. We had John Wayne, Deadpool, Wizard. One person wanted to put Jesus on it. All these different ideas. So we just wanted to have a little fun. We settled with the Wizard. We thought that was pretty cool. And having a little fun. It's fun because you can actually see the gold kind of hang up. So, if you need to sweep or turn your volume down or your pitch, because, if it's impossible gold, then you're going to have to make it really, really slow because that's why it's impossible. If it's easy gold, it'll be easy, and you can turn it up. It's just intuitive, so that Wiz Mat, when people run it, are going to be blown away. And what's cool about it is this is reality. How many times I've never seen this happen. So maybe someone else has, but I've never seen anybody down by the stream running their Miller table. Not once since I've been prospecting. Back at the camper, yep. Back at the picnic table next to the camper, under the canopy, yep. In the shop, yep. At home, yep. Never down the stream. Now you can pop your mat in there, and if you're down the stream and you want to see your gold, you can do a cleanup in the field. So there it is, and so that versatility we felt, would be a good product. And plus, this is, remember I was talking about the value earlier, and some people are, yeah, Dave, he's just talking. Show me another Miller table for $64. I'm just gonna call it what it is. So a lot of it is, the reality is the value was there. So that value, got my little wiener dog barking at a terrorist or somebody, probably good. She guards the place very well. Hold on a second. Abby dog. You guys gotta see this terrorist or this killer dog I have here.
Killer attack dog?
Killer attack dog.
Don't let Judy see that dog. She'll want another dog.
Oh, little puppy. Picked up wrong. So this is, yes. This killer. She's killing me. She's killing me. She's killing me. She's a killer dog. She makes sure we stay safe. So, it's one of those things we felt there's value in that. So we hope if there's a lot of people out there and you got the budget for 150, 250, 350 Miller table, give the Wisdom a try if they have the sluice. Even buying it with the sluice in the header box is about, anyways, so you can hopefully roll into it in time. And it's, and you can do it all yourself too. Put it in your own 6-inch box, do your own flow into a tub, your cat litter box or whatever it is that you want to build. Do all your do-it-yourself stuff. So it's got little vial sweeps. We filled those 2 vial sweeps when I went and tested that mat out with some miners, and we were testing another product that is top secret, but it's coming. And we took some tailings of it, and I had some gold mixed in it. And he goes, well, get that Miller table thing going. So we got it going. He goes, and then he goes, what do I do? I go, put the gold on it, and he puts it all on it. And I go, that's a lot. And he goes, it won't work that way. I go, it will. Just give it time. And we cleaned that up. We filled the vials on both sides almost twice. Filled them up once, took it out, sucked them out with all you gotta do is take your sucker bottle, because there's water flowing above it, and even though the gold's backing out, it still sucks it right up. You can almost get it all in one whack, but you gotta get those last couple flakes down the bottom. And you can fill it up, and that gold was clean. It was awesome. And then we filled them about 3/4 of the way full on each side when we were done with that. But so I was able to get his gold clean. So we hung out for it, and that was fun. And the product has merit. In fact, actually, it was mine. And well, actually, it wasn't. I brought it for Bob, and Curtis was the miner that we were doing the cleanups with. And Curtis goes, "Can I have that?" And Bob goes, "David brought that for me." And I go, "Bob, you can get another one. Just give it to Curtis. It's okay." And he goes, "Really? I gotta wait to get one in the mail?" And so here these 2 guys are fighting over it. So does the product have value when you have 2 miners fighting over your Miller table mat? Okay, you tell me.
Boy, Dancer's got a hell of a bunch of fireworks going off back there.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, he's blowing everything up.
Say hi to Dave, Judy.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, Judy.
Yeah, Dancer, the trucking, Dancer trucking.
I'm live, honey.
Well, I'm just telling you, that's who's blowing all those off.
Oh, Dancers trucking and racing?
Yeah.
Okay.
What a big show. I mean, he had better fireworks than they did down there the other year.
Oh, I bet. Thank you for the neighborhood firework update, love.
You're such a dabber dog.
Bought a truckload of it.
Truckload. The joys of live streaming, everybody, right?
That's okay. No worries. I was like sitting there.
Well, I know you have a new attachment for the Gold Cube also. And
yes, I do. That Dream Baker, that was inspired by basically, how can I say it? That was inspired by kind of the tailing piles. People metal detecting tailing piles. That's what it was inspired by. Watching people try to go after those nuggets in the tailing piles at mainly the LDMA digs. So you go out there, they got the trommel or they got the banker, and they're metal detecting the tailing piles for the nuggets. And I keep thinking to myself, the nuggets are the easiest thing to catch in a sluice. They're the easiest thing to catch. I mean, it's just like it's stupid silly. And I go, why don't we just put the power sluice up there with the mat, catch all our nuggets, and do like the mini mat where we have people using our mini mats in like that one picture that Jarvis showed up there in I think that's 6 Mile Creek up in Alberta, where the guys have got the 6-inch and there's 4 mats in it. So it's really long. It's like almost 16-inch mats anyways. So almost 6 foot long. So anyways, in 3 of the mats are minis, and they're packed full of gold right to the top. They're doing cleanups. I mean, there's a little bit of dirt in them, but these things are just cheesed out. And they're using that for a cleanup shoot because that mini mat really does a good job of catching nuggets and stopping them from rolling off. And I thought to myself, it's not none of these prospectors have enough gold to do that. Not even, and I'm not saying I don't hope someone does. You know what I'm saying? I hope everybody gets rich, but but the reality is we go to the digs, we see what people are getting. No one's got that much gold. I'm saying if that man can catch more gold than what they can put through the box, so what? Let it catch it. And they can run it hot. And they can push a lot of material through there. They can, and I also thought to myself, spray bars. Spray bars are hitting the material, squirting stuff everywhere, and you got to wait for it to erode, kind of like, get the material and all this other stuff, and it's making a mess and blowing stuff everywhere. And I was sitting there thinking, what's better than having the material completely submerged in a sluice, bouncing around, getting totally clean, where we don't have to worry about having dirty material hit the ground. Because that's one of the things that I was seeing too. Depending on who was doing the feeding on the equipment, depended if the material still had dirt and sand on it. And if you gave it a lot of time, it came out clean. If you rushed it, it pushed out the dirt. And I thought to myself, if it's covered completely in water, and those rocks start piling up on that screen, and get pushed back a little bit, all that sandy stuff is going down. What could be better than completely covered in water the whole time being processed and flowing water, of course. And so we set up a prototype and we ran it, and we were amazed at how much material we could push through it because we have the other equipment. We have the other screeny thing, and we have the trommel. We have them. We run them. We count the scoops. It's neck and neck. 2 pieces of equipment, 2 buckets of dirt, 2 people with scoopers. We go at it and we see, okay, does this add value? Am I like so slow now? It really isn't worth it. Or am I going faster? We're going faster. We're going faster. Our materials get cleaner. We're catching all our nuggets. We don't have to worry about the spill pile. And all the rest is just crashing on the mat and going into the rest of the system. You got it. There's no if, ands, or do we lose the small stuff? No, because it's going through the other system. So of course we're going to catch the small stuff. And the cost of the screen behind the sluice that turns it into that is dumb super. It's 60 some bucks. But of course, you got to have your sluice and stuff. But if you already have those things, you're good to go. And it's just the value again was just begging to be had. And so now here we are. And it's like, it almost feels like we're doing it in the right order now. And a lot of people that I had worked with in a lot of prospectors who are running material in high bankers and dredges, they have over-unders. They run all the material into the crash box, and the oversize goes into a sluice above, and they have an extra spray bar to keep the water going, and then push out the bigger stuff, and they get their nuggets, and then all the finer rest of the flow and the finer stuff goes through the undersize, and because anytime you classify, you get better results. It's just the golden rule. Doesn't matter if you classify, you get better results. That's all there is to it. So and so the bottom thing tears it off. So it's like an over and under. We're just doing an over and under sluice system. So, but really small. And the scoop loads that we have that we're putting into it, you got to put the dream mats in the box. Because if we were to just run the traditional matting, the conveyor belt, we'd overload it. We would have to stop and wait because we could feed it so fast. And what's nice about it, then if you move more material, got all the dream mats in the box because you can move the 2000 flow and you can move more material. Anytime you can shovel more material through a system in a day, easy, you're going to get more gold because your chances are higher. It's like buying more lottery tickets. That's all it is. Every scoop's a lottery ticket. And if you're not, and you're not killing yourself, it's not like you're sweating or anything. This is just a little scoop or scooper. This isn't like shovel loads. In that whole theory and how that works is really nice because it allows basically to throw that mat in a pan it out, get your nuggets, and if you pick out some nuggets and you still got some black sands and you're wanting to concentrate, you can just take that pan, dump it into the cube while it's running. If you want to break that classification down some more, it's so elegant. In a lot of ways, I kind of felt like it's just like how much merit is in this product, and I actually think it's some people I would call it like a aha moment, paradigm shift, or some people call it like like it's like, oh man, why did we think of that earlier? It's one of those things. It is. It's like, oh man, it was like the answer was waiting the whole time, and that product will be nice for the cube lovers. And what was funny?
What's
I didn't use a cube a lot before when I was prospecting with the Dream Mat. And now, as I got all this stuff for my cube, I use my cube a lot now. And a lot of people, they give me crap. It's like, hey, what's you using the cube for? You got all the air stuff. And I go, it complements. It's a standard. It's a good device. It's compact. It does all this stuff, and never has it ever been my intention to tear down the product. The anything has been to add value to it. And I have so many people that have told me, he goes, the thing was sitting in the corner collecting dust because for whatever reason, and I got your mats for it, and now so there it is. It's a win-win, so it's just anytime you could get, it's like I kind of feel it's like a turbo on a car. I got a little 4-cylinder truck. It's actually a skateboard. It looks like a skateboard. It's so small. It gets really good gas mileage. You saw it when I took it over there. I bought the thing just for one reason only: to commune back and forth to work, and to take on trips, and have a little box to throw my stuff in. And I got a nice topper for it now. Finally, I built my own topper on the air one. But anyways, and if it didn't have that turbo on that 4-cylinder motor, dude, I wouldn't be able to pass anybody. I'd be like, I'd get out and I'd step on the gas and it'd make noise and nothing would happen. I put my foot on that turbo, and by the time I still pass somebody, I gotta hurry up and take my foot off the gas because I'm like 97, 98 mile an hour. And I'm like, wow, this thing's like a motorcycle because it's so small. I'm the heaviest thing in it probably. So anyways, but that's like the mat and the cube. It's a turbo, man. And actually the a hydrocyclone is actually the same shape as a turbo in science. So that's kind of a interesting analogy there. Anyways, so I'm just teasing, gonna geek out on you. Yeah. I shouldn't say this. If my brother Tim is watching, he's gonna get mad, but that's okay. We'll just see who wears the pants in the family, huh? Okay. We have a product we're coming out with and it's slated for next year that we're so excited about that we're almost besides ourselves and we've made the decision to shelve it for next season to take the time to do it right, because when we launch this product and put it out there, it'll be another patent, and people are gonna go, "Oh man, come on, are you serious? Really? It's gonna be that good." So, anyways, we're excited. So, but we gotta finish well with what we're doing now. I can get distracted on every shiny thing that goes by, but my brother, he's like, you need to finish these things before you get to go play again. And it's like I'm grounded right now, finishing all this stuff. But I do need to finish it. And actually, I thought, hey, we're pretty close to finish. And then when I actually had to get everything ready for the 4th of July and some other stuff, I realized, oh man, I mean, I had a lot of work to do. So, anyways, had a good time up in Nome, and that was so awesome. I'm probably go to Nome every 2 years now, I think. And what's his name? Joe there. He's got containers that have I don't know if there's a cot in them, but he's going to have containers set up. And he's going to rent them out for $400 a week.
Wow.
And I'll get back with him later on this year. I was having too much fun just hanging out with him when we were there. But of course, you're in a container yard but you remember everything that goes to Nome stays at Nome. It never leaves. Because there's no roads. It's shipped up there or flown up there.
Right.
So there's a lot of interesting relics, we'll call them, everywhere in this salvage yard of his. So no one's mowing the yard. There's no yards to mow. Anyways, that's what I'm saying. But they got a nice pond out back to run your high bakers in. Important stuff. Anyways,
right.
Yep. And a lot of the guys will go to the beach and they'll fill their rigs up with sand, and then they'll come back and run them into the pit. And so that's what a lot of people do. But I'm thinking, and this is another thing I found out, because you don't know everything just because you've been to a town. You don't know everything about it. So we're at the crab feed. He had a crab feed on I think it was a Saturday night. Yep, Saturday night he had a crab feed, Friday or Saturday, whatever. And I'm hanging out. I just have one big leg because it's huge, and plus, there are a lot of people there, and I didn't want to be a pig, but I could have been a pig. That was some good crab. I could have sat down and said, "This is mine." Anyway,
I don't know. I saw a picture of you eating crab up there.
that was that big leg. Yep. Oh yeah, that was
like you were really enjoying it.
That was right. I was hot right out of the pot, right there, and I didn't even put any butter on it. It was so good. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Anyways, so but I was asking him, I go, so where'd you get the crab? Because I've been driving around the town. I know what's in the stores. I go to seafood sections in the stores they got there, the gas stations and the grocery store. I see what they got, And he goes, well, there's the seafood place at the end of the harbor. And I go, wait a minute, what seafood place is in the harbor? He goes, the seafood place in the harbor. And I go, yeah, you can get crab, you get salmon, you get halibut, you get, anything you want. And I'm like, what? How have I not known about this place? So I'm thinking, not that AKU, Augie's place is 5-star Nome. Okay. So what does that mean, 5-star Nome? Okay. Nome is a native town, and there's a lot of mining, so there's a lot of machinery. It looks kind of rough, almost like industrial broke down. But you got to realize all the running stuff is out there making gold. All the relics are there for us to look at because they're never moving again. So it's kind of those things. So it's got that kind of rough industrial look. You go up to Augie's, you're up in the mountains, up on the Anvil Creek, and you're looking out all over the tundra. You see the muskox and the bears, and you're hanging out, and it's just like you're out in the middle of nowhere, and there's nothing around. It's just beautiful. And he's got the lodge, and he feeds you, and all this other stuff. All right, so you're up out of Nome, about 20 minutes out of Nome, and so, but I'm thinking now I'm going to hang out in Nome because I'm a miner and I can handle hanging out with the junk, and it can hurt me. And I am going to go and get me a crab pot in a skillet, and I am going to go to the seafood place, and I'm going to buy crab, $14 a pound. I'm going to buy halibut, I'm going to buy scallops, and I am going to go up there and probably have to get ask for a seat by myself on the way home on the plane because no one can sit next to me because I'll be so bloated from eating seafood.
Right.
They're like, I'm telling you, I'm going to go up there and just because it's fresh. And I'm sorry, but I live in Montana. Our seafood isn't fresh; it's frozen. And even Seattle seafood is kind of okay, but they don't, and I've ate some fancy restaurants in San Francisco, San Jose, really good food, but not so much the crab. But that fresh crab, buddy, they're just bringing it in right off the boats. That was amazing. So I can imagine what the halibut and the salmon and the scallops taste like. I bought some scallops when I was in Fairbanks last year. Oh my gosh, here we are talking about food. So funny. What makes Dave go around? Dream at and food. But anyways, but that'll be fun. So I think every 2 years I'm thinking about going up there and hanging out at Nome for a week, go do some beach mining, meet people, talk to them about their dredging and stuff. We got some projects going on. So we're trying to develop a special map for the dredgers. And even though what we're doing now is working in some applications. And so, just kind of keep that going. And it's a cool trip. Get to see lots of gold.
Nice. Well, I know in our private group you brought up a trip for next year. I told Judy about it.
That's I haven't
I would
announced
like
that to
to
the
go.
world yet. So
I know.
let's not announce where it's going to be at. But let's just say that I have am going to be doing a Dream Mat event next year, and it's going to be at a lodge, and we are going to sponsor the event, and it's going to be we have to figure out how we're going to put because there's only 12 to 18 people, so we got to figure out how to do that. So we got to get really ingenious, and we got to get really smart, and we got to basically throw that out there. We're going to have a Dream Mat event, and we're going to start looking at doing that every year at different locations. And so anyways, so we got it going. So Ed has got the everybody that's listening on Flash in the Pan tonight's in the know. We're gonna have ourselves a blast, and we're gonna get some gold. And really, because we're prospectors and we love Dream Mat. Well, at least all prospectors do, but the trip has to have good gold. We got to have gold. It ain't no fun unless there's gold. So,
Right.
well, and we are at this location, good gold. And I tried to pull this off a year before at a place with a person, but it just didn't quite work out. And it was because of health reasons and stuff like that. So we almost pulled it off.
Put that on the back burner. I just told Judy about it and that I'm interested.
Oh, you better
She's
be
like,
interested.
well, I'm interested. I want to get to when you opened your shop and Jesse went to Montana.
I know.
wanted to go to that too, but wasn't able.
Yeah, you were. I had to have one of you guys there, and you weren't available, so I said, Jesse, come. You bet. It's this journey we're on is no fun unless we can share it with friends and family, and especially family. Family's so important. Man, in one of the things that I count my blessings with this is that one of the things this business has done is me and my brother Tim's relationship is the best it's ever been. In a lot of it is because learning how to work better with each other, learning how to in setting goals and meeting them. We're thankful that the product isn't causing us to go broke, and people like it, and we're able to make it grow. That's always a good thing when you're not stressed about sales and stuff. And we don't create products just for sales. All the products are, and Tim will even say it, even though they get excited and they bring it into it and they add to it and they help in many ways, in more ways than you'd ever know, is birthed out of passion and excitement for getting gold. Getting gold is the first, that has to be the first thing. It's gotta get that gold, and hopefully it gets it better, cheaper, faster. It's just basically just somehow just gotta be, it's just gotta be just good stuff. And to be a part of an industry that's as old as it is now, and not be a snake oil salesman and trying to sell something off to the side, but just selling a product that people really can embrace and make it a standard. And I think we go another 10 years. It's going to be pretty safe to say we have done a good job of standardizing some really good gold recovery. We've been doing this for 10 years. I don't want to say we're standard right now, but I would say that we want to be. We want to be, when people think about fine gold recovery, they think Dream Mat. We want to, that's our goal. That's our hope. We got to shoot for something. We got to, and not, and we do the work for it too. I mean, I hear a lot of people say things, and my stepdad, that man, his hands, if you could see his hands at every dinner table after he tried to scrub all the grease off them and they're still in all his cracks underneath his fingernails, he worked hard. And he was a great mechanic. And I think a lot of the reasons we do what we do is because I know we're not mechanicking, but we work hard. Me and my brother, we put in, we do the work. We're not just kind of, I don't know, trying to, we do the hard work. And even which the work we both tried to avoid, but we have to do it. The business work part of it. Oh, geez, man, business sucks. Business work is like, really, oh, man, someone else do this for me? Maybe one day someone will. We work hard. And there are times I look at my brother and I'm like, dude, you need to take some time off. Because like you've been slaving away in that casting room, getting my new products, getting ready to get them out there, taking care of the molding, the tooling, the molding, and the process, dealing with the problems in the manufacturing, training employees, getting everything done, and dealing with new equipment for new processes of molding and all the stuff. And I watch this guy, and he's just like, man, he shows up every day, and he doesn't shy away from it. He's like, in fact, actually, he comes to me, and he goes, all right, Dave, what are you going to get done today? And I'm like, so why are you asking me this? And he goes, I want to see you focus on and get something done today. And I'm like, are you trying to say I got too many irons in the fire? He's all going, I want to see you get something done today. And he does. He's a great business partner because he forces me to do those things that cause the product to become a reality, and become a good finisher. So that's awesome. Anyways, don't want to talk about business. Anyways, 4th of July is here. 250-year anniversary. Oh my gosh. 10-year anniversary for us. I usually have a big barbecue, but I had a big barbecue for my wife's 50th, so I decided not to have a 4th of July barbecue. I'm like, just got back from Nome. We're going to be going camping afterwards. I think this weekend I'm barely going to be able to get my honeydews done, mow my yard, and not work myself to death, and have a few moments of enjoying the mowed grass and for a few moments before I get back to work. So,
right.
And it is a blessing. It's like, and we don't plan it that way, but Tim was giving me a hard time. He's all like, you go for a trip, you come back, and then you go on vacation. And I go, didn't plan it that way, but we decided this year to do our vacation in July, because if we wait for August, we have in Montana what we call the fire season, and everything gets smoked out. So, but what's the problem with July is all the tourists fill up the campgrounds, and it makes it so hard in this area to find a place, because it's like we're just overrun by being so close to Glacier Park and by out of staters. So we're going to go out there and we're going to compete with the tourists, and we're going to hang out for a week by a lake and go fishing and sit in the shade, go fishing, swimming, paddleboarding, stuff like that with teenagers. Yep.
Sounds like a great time.
It does sound like a great time. My boys are 19 and 17, and the 17-year-old wants to be on his own, even though he's going to be moving back in, but he wants to be on his own. He wants his own life, and, letting your children leave the nest, it's a hard one,
Well, my friend Scott, Benford Prospecting, he's more of a hands and pans type prospector. Question: can you make something for hands and pans only states like stealth sluicy? The Adventure Sleuth is pretty stout, Scott. So,
We have
but
a lot of people asking us, actually for uh, exclusive products. It's just the reality is it seems like it works better if we're the mothership and we're selling from our store with our marketing. We have the marketing that you see us do. Tim's boy does that, and he's taught himself, and so we're pretty proud of that. Even though he seems like, well, he's there every day, and even though it seems like a lot of people say, Dave, back in the day, you said you didn't want to market your product. And I go, yeah, I didn't want to market it in a way where I was paying somebody and somebody I didn't know, and it was saying things that weren't real and kind of weird now. But we got this awesome young guy, and he markets for us, and he gets our people's attention that, hey, we're real. Our products are in inventory. If Jesse came, because he was there when we started and saw how open the shop was. If he was to come in and see the shop now, we got storage racks to the ceiling. We got aisles you can hardly walk down with the safety ladder. And we're adding on to the shop just for space. Our inventory now, we're a small company. We're not huge. To us is like, oh my gosh, because the reality is, we're still not perfect in it, and sometimes every once in a while we do sell out for a little bit, but we try to keep our products so that we know that it never sells out, and we always have it on hand, and that allows us to basically, when someone wants it, they can get it, and they don't have to wait 2 weeks. They don't have to wait until the next shipment or something like that. And every once in a while we run out because some products, for some reason, it's like they all sell off the shelf, and they're like, oh my gosh, but we try to figure that all out and get it all stocked up again and overstock again and bring in more inventory. But it's just almost like, it seems like more every month. Every month there's more stuff on the shelves, more stuff. And you're thinking, why is there so much inventory? And then we look at the computer and it says, this is how many are going out a week. And it's like, oh my gosh. And you go to our shop, and it's funny, I have the door open in the shop upstairs, and all I can hear all day is strapping tape and paper getting crunched and put into boxes and shrink wrap. And it's to the point where when I'm down on the floor, I can't talk to people on the phone because I can't hear them because of the noise. And it's just packing paper, shrink wrap, and strapping tape. And I'm just like, oh my goodness.
Well, I'm glad you're busy. I remember a time. Shoot, Jesse and I have been following you before you even started making your mat.
Yeah, when I was doing the Kairos Vortex, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that Tim pointed out in that little 4th of July thing. When he was talking, when I tried to make it the box, that really limited the product. And once we made it a mat that could go in any box, then the product just took off.
Right.
It solved that problem,
And now you're global.
That's still strange to me. I was gonna go over to Australia a couple of years back. It was like 6 years back, and I didn't realize, because I don't travel global. I'm not like this jet set dude. I got my passport because I had to actually get it update a new one because the arrow was just ready expired. I get it going and everything, and Dustin calls me and goes, so you got your passport ready? He goes, yep. He goes, you got your visa? And I go, visa? What do you need a visa for? And he goes, oh, if you don't got like a canned trip, you got to get a visa approved to come in the country. They got to know why you're here. I go, well, it's for work. And he goes, yeah, it's not a problem, but you ain't going to get one in time enough for this trip I'm taking. And I was like, oh, man. And then then we'll come back to that though. Trust me, we're circling around. That's gonna happen. And me and Tim want to hit New Zealand, and we want to hit Australia together. We want to do that.
Well, when you go, let me sneak in your luggage.
Yeah, and we want to do that. Me and Tim do, and so yep, I want to visit Dustin. I want to visit Jeff King over there in New Zealand. But anyways, so now we're starting to travel more to Canada. Of course, we almost went to Brazil, but it just didn't quite work out because through the Small Business Association. But Tim went to Africa, and he's going back. And then we're looking at going to Argentina. Tim's going to Canada for these other expos. I'm going up to Alaska a lot because I'm basically meeting miners. Tim's kind of doing the business part of it, and it's amazing. We get in front of these larger corporations and these people that want us to come visit. We had a guy from Turkey. No, sorry, we had a guy from Pakistan fly in and visit us, and we're talking about, the technology and stuff. He's got, mine locations. He's got tungsten that he's mining. And he used one of our mats. And he flew over to tell us, like we didn't know, tungsten weighs the same as gold, that how incredible our mats work. And he wanted to size up for the best mats, meet us, figure out how to best run his equipment, everything he had to do, and get set up. And we set him up and set him off. In that, that the ability for him to make a profit now with his compared to what he was doing, the way everybody's doing it over there, he's going to be able to actually not just get more material. He's going to be able to, because his percentage of tungsten is higher in his concentrates. He can go to a higher market, and he can actually come into the U.S. market and bypass these lower markets that are offering them less because we've increased his recovery. And by the way, we got a new tungsten mine going in Montana, and so we are trying to contact them. Kind of did. Nothing's happened from that, but if it's heavy, we catch it. And
Right.
and the whole Dream Map thing, man, is still the name. I was talking to this guy in South America, and I was explaining how the product worked. And he goes, "Man, if you think you can do that, you're dreaming." And my brother started laughing. I go, "That's why it's called Dream Map."
When unicorns fart.
And so this isn't a mining application. So we send them the maps, and they're like, then they're not. This is incredible. It's exciting when we're able to do things, in turn heads. It's a hard industry to turn heads because everybody thinks they've seen it, they know it all. They've seen it all, done it all, know it all. Does our map fit in every situation? No. But there are situations where it fits well. It can improve. And that's the situations we want to win at. We don't want to try and do something we aren't. We want to do something we can be good at. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Fun stuff. We have a couple other industries pulling on us right now out of gold mining, where our technology will help them with their heavies issues. And one of them is in mining, one of them isn't in mining. And it's amazing to me how that the more this product gets in front of people that prospect, but those people work for other jobs and do other things, and they look at it and go like, "Man, this thing is awesome. I bet it would work well here." And it just goes to show that the physics in it are sound, they're simple, they're elegant, and it does what it does. And it is because it can solve problems in other industries. And if you look at my patent, I talk about the other industries that it could do the same thing in some of those industries. We could catch all the nails out of the grain, flow grain over it. We could, coal beneficiation is one of the things we're looking at. Sanitation, catch all the heavies, though they don't have to have those big heavy ponds, just sluice the heavies out. I don't even want to think about that or have to go visit that site or have to deal with that stuff. It's kind of like maybe just Zoom meetings only for sanitation, huh? Anyways, but gotta be tough, dude, to do jobs like that. Gotta be tough. Oh man,
Graveyard Prospecting Mitch down in southwest
Mr. Mitch,
Oregon says,
I
"Hey,
often
Dave."
I often think about going back to Oregon and hanging out with Mitch. I had a blast that trip. We went down there with the Sparky guy up from Washington,
Yeah,
and and we went down there. We went with Dino. I talked Dino death on the way down there. He teased me. He goes, "Man, you just like got lots of words." We went down there. We prospected. We had a good time. That was a blast. And I just
good old Sparky Chaser.
yep. And I want to go. I want to go to visit Brett, the dude in Boise for the Boise chapter this year, and then go down and visit Dino at his claim.
Go visit
And because he's got a
that
bunch of
Ed guy
equipment.
and Jesse in Ohio again.
One of these days, I'm gonna be coming back over because I want to come back over and do. I did Loud Mine, but I haven't done the other one that's over there.
Vane
Yeah.
Mountain.
It might be that. Yep, Vane Mountain.
Vane
Yep.
Mountain in
Yep.
Nebo, Georgia, or Nebo, North Carolina.
Yep. And there's would like to come over and do that neck of the woods again. Hang out. Had a great time. I would absolutely love to somehow swing a trip with my family to the UP and go Uper light hunting at night. Martin took me out. We did that. I'm telling you, sometimes you just gotta unwind and relax, and
Right.
work pushes you, especially when you're on work trips. And we went out there Uper light hunting at night so here, the whole thing is awesome because you're adults. How many chances do you get to go as an adult out with flashlights at night and look for rocks? I mean, how, I'm just telling you, it's like, it's so much fun, I know teenagers, people, I mean, it's a blast. And I had a good time. And I wish I had something like that here, where you can just go out and you don't really need to do anything except for just go out at night with a flashlight, nice weather, walk through the water, pick up rocks, that are glowing. I mean, come on, man.
Super light setting is pretty cool.
You live close enough. You and Jesse should go cruise up and hang out with Martin and have him take you Uper light hunting. That would be a blast.
I want to get up there and hang with Martin, but last time I was on the Lake Superior, I was actually with Jason the Flower Gold Wizard and Mike Pung. And what's funny though, you like it, Dave, because whenever I did shows selling Dream Mat, I'd have my banjo pan with micro mat in it. I'd have my gold cube with Dream Mat in it. And Mike would walk by me. I'm like, "Hi, Mike." He'd look at me and kind of shake his head. And I'm like, "Dude,
it's all fun.
Two great products making an even better product."
Amen. Yep.
But yeah, I want to get up and hang out with Martin sometime and enjoy Lake Superior beaches again. I'm sure hoping the guys up there can get it so you could go back to recirculating systems instead of just hands and pans now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They've kind of gone Washington and California on us.
I did get an invite and I met somebody and I gotta think to myself, who is it? Now I'm bummed because I get too many contacts. I got to find out. I met somebody in Nome who goes beach mining in Cape Disappointment. And who was?
Okay.
And I said, "Hey man, I need to go with you and meet you there." And it was, oh man, who was it? Now I gotta think. It's gonna bug me all night now. I just got a mental block. It'll come to me. But I haven't been to Cape Disappointment yet, so I want to go do that.
Well, next time you're in Washington hanging out with some of the Washington guys, head out to Cape Disappointment. It'd be a lot like Nome. It'd be a lot like Lake Superior. You know, and your Cape D mat's named after the place.
Yep. You bet. Well, guess what's happening? My battery's going dead.
Well, that happens, Dave. Thanks for coming on. And glad you had a great time in Nome. And I'm eager to learn more about what you have on the burner for up in AK next year. I just know I'm interested. I'm very interested. And thank you for all the work you do on your products. I love them. And all these people in my chat know I do. And that's my opinion, and my opinion's the only one that matters. So.
Yep. We all have our own flavor of beer or whatever.
What is Sunny in here, Heavy? Is Sunny in here? You say Sunny Rico. Is Sunny in here? A Washingtonian there. But have a great 4th of July. Enjoy your family or chillax. I know you're a busy man. And you and Tim, keep up the great hard work you're doing.
Seattle airport gave me the bug. Fighting off a sore throat.
Oh, I got a bug once, but that was at PDX, not SeaTac. I think no, that was PDX too, so never mind.
Well, we appreciate everybody that, supports us with purchasing our products because, we're hitting the mark somewhere. So people are hitting that button. We appreciate that. It's exciting. I never in a million years, when I was inventing the mat, or was it the goal, that I thought that I'd be here now. It to me, it's not just having. Me and Tim, sometimes we look at the success of our business with how happy our employees are and how we got great employees. And they love coming to work. They love doing the job. And we get the product out there and it's a blast, and if I had to, I'm glad, I can work just like everybody else. I've had plenty of jobs working for businesses, but I have to admit, it's me and Tim. It is nice working for ourselves, and hopefully the economy and the gold going up is a big help, and people loving our products, coming out with great products. We hope we're able to keep that going long enough, however long it takes, and we're grateful. We are really grateful, and I sure enjoy. It's nice me being the extrovert and everything. I sure enjoy the people. Man, I was up at Augie's up at Nome, and they had a bus of people come in for the day, and so the people were scrambling kind of because there was a whole bunch of them. They usually don't have that many people down at the pit. They usually have about 6, like 8 or 10 is like 10's a big number, and they had like 13 people that down at the pit. And they were all newbies. None of them ever been prospecting before. So none of them were like people that showed up, knew about panning or anything. And I ran down some snuffer bottles when I was down there. I showed some couple couples how to pan, and I had a blast. It was awesome. And cool. I thought to myself, now, here I'm the Dream Act guy. I'm not trying to make it sound like that's something special, but I'm sitting here thinking, I'm teaching these two people how to pan, or these two couples, this husband and wife. I show them how to pan. All these people are watching, and then these other couple come through, and I show them how to pan. I'm panning. They're in front of me. They're on the other side. I'm helping them and everything, telling them when they're, and just having a blast to help them get their gold. And after I was done, I was thinking to myself, man, I could do this job. This job is great. I mean, this would be a fun job. Every day meeting new people, showing them how to get gold. I go, this would be a blast. I could do this job. And then I think to myself too then, but these guys are up here and it's amazing. These guys up in Nome, they sacrifice their, how can I say it? They got to be up at that camp all summer. So it's like one of those jobs. They're away from their family and everybody all summer, and then they got to make everything they make that summer. And then, they can still, excuse me, they can still, work through the winter, but you know how it is having a seasonal job like that. And I was like, well, I don't want that part of the job, but that sure was fun. And, but I do that all the time with my Dream Mat with people, but at a different level, with just in the panning with people and seeing that excitement right there. When I go to the digs, I go to LDMA stuff and I go to other outings and I go with people and we're working with the product and they see the gold. That never gets old. It's awesome. And I like doing that, so that's why I've been traveling more in those travels, when we see a need in the marketplace, I come back and say, I saw this. There's like something missing here. This can be improved, and we put it on the board and we beat it up, and like I got 13 projects on my board at work, and some of them have been there since we started the business. So it's got to have a lot of merit and be really what we call worthy of the doing what we do to bring to the customers to pull it off that board and make it a reality. It's got to have all the right things. It's got to, besides just low-hanging fruit, it's got to be something that we can really say, hey, we can get behind this product. We can believe in it. Other people can believe in it. It'll work. That's the most important thing. It's got to work. It's got to get the gold. It's got to make people just go like, dang, it's got to have that. We have a miner where we're using this new product with up there in Nome that we're prototyping, and we show him and he's just like, oh, I love this thing. This is awesome. And then we go off and we're kind of goodbye, ain't going to see you this trip again. And he calls me and goes, hey, are you still there? Are you still in Nome? I go, yeah. He goes, I'm running up just for a little bit because I got another batch and we just got to make this happen. And we did it again because he was so satisfied with what we did for him. It was that kind of like seek you out because he's that impressed. Was pretty awesome. Had a good time. So
I know you're sick, David, and I know you're tired, and I know your phone's about ready to die.
It is. I'm on like 10%.
And I know you have the gift of gab.
I do.
So
in spades, I do.
I look forward to the next time seeing you in person. And you're always welcome. We'll have to get you on next season when I come back from summer break for Tuesday Night Ain't Out Live. And maybe you'll have some of these other projects ready to share with the world.
Awesome. I'll let you go.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody.
Take care, Dave. My friend David Peterson. Great guy. I had a blast with him at Gold Rush days, and he's a talker. He's a talker. But what Jesse would say, it makes my job easier. As you know, I just kind of kick back and let him talk for a while. Everybody, right now, Sleuth, what's that special right now for Independence Day? Sale on right now through the 5th. 20% off all Sleuth mats. 15% off store wide. I have a link down in the bottom. We've got a link in the chat. Please use it. That way they know it came from me. Check it out. I know I have some stuff in my cart. So everybody, until next time, may you always have a flash in your pan. And you know what I like to say, because it does happen. It really does. It does happen. Maybe one day too, I'll meet you on the river. But for now, oh wait, I gotta thank, before I leave, I gotta thank my super chatters. I had Down East Detecting and Prospecting, Bob Drake. Send me a $10 super chat. You rock. And Wrench used one of the membership chat thingies. 19 months member. And top fans tonight, Down East Detecting, Scrapyard Prospecting, Life of a Gold Prospector, AJ, Heavy Meadow Detective Outfitter. That was 1 through 5. All of you rock, though. You're all top fans in my book. And I can't wait to meet you on the stream someday. But for now, it's getting late. Barb, good seeing you, darling. Hope your hubby's heals well. But right now, for now, I'm out of here. Five, 4, 3, 2.